Hey there, and welcome to Crochet Therapy. I'm Barbara, your host for this tutorial for the magic knot. This is a fairly easy knot to master. It seems a little tricky, and sometimes it does feel a little tricky. However, I'm going to show you in a way, hopefully, that will make it very easy for you. Okay, so with the magic knot, we do have two opposite ends of yarn, and I'm going to show you the technique to join two different colors of yarn, and that way it will be easier for you to see how the knots are tied. Okay, so the first thing we do is we have our straight piece of yarn. Now normally this is the yarn that is going to come out of a piece of work. Okay, what we're going to do is take the opposite color of yarn and we are going to make a little loop right here, and it's going to look like the makings of the letter A. Okay, and so as you can see, the yarn coming from the left is making the loop side of the letter A, and the other yarn, the yarn that is coming from our work, is making the straight line across, and that is also on the back side of this loop. Okay, so what we're going to do is take the flat yarn and this light color purple, and we are going to hold on to our A just like this, and I'm going to take my finger and bring this yarn up and over behind, and then I'm going to loop it through the top. Okay, and so that essentially makes a knot around the lighter color yarn, and I'm going to tie it and pull very hard on this. Of course, I don't want to break my yarn, and some yarns you can break, so be very careful. This yarn is a 4-weight acrylic yarn that I'm using, so it's pretty good. So obviously I'm going to pull the two strands of the same color because I want to make that knot really tight, and I've made that knot really tight. So now we are going to work with the darker color yarn as our straight line across the A. So we have to make the loop to make it look like the letter A with the other yarn. So I am going to, this is really easy to do on a table, but it's completely doable, you know, sitting in a chair doing your work once you get it mastered. So you can see this is the light color. This is where the knot is. We're going to bring this up and around so that it makes the loop part of the A. The straight line for the A, and I'm just giving you this. This is not a technical term, but this is the way I see it. So the straight line for the A is behind, so that's good. And I'm just going to pick this up and I'm going to hold just with my thumb. I'm going to hold the A together, okay? The loop and the back line. And then I'm going to take this finger and I'm just going to encourage this end part to come up and around and over the back. And now you don't want to go down and down into this part. You want to make sure that you always loop it into the top part of the A, okay? Otherwise, your knot will not come together. Okay, so I'm going to continue pulling until I get this nice and tight. And so this time I'm pulling the light color yarn together and I'm pulling it nice and tight. Can you see that? And so now, look, we have two knots connecting two strands of yarn. So what I'm going to do is take this one in this hand and this one in this hand, and I'm just going to gently pull, just slowly, for it to come together. And then when it gets to there, you need to just give a little more tug because you're slowly bringing those two knots together. And then I'm just going to give it a little tug, tug, just so that I can marry those two knots together. Okay? Now what we're going to do is cut as close to the knot as possible, but not compromising that knot in any way. So usually I just take my thumbnail and kind of stick it down to the edge there so I know not to go any closer than that. And I just go and snip. And if you can see, I have just, let me see which way is the camera. Here we go. I have just a little bit still there. Okay. You can see that little bit. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay. Snip. And now these two pieces of yarn, these two strands of yarn are married and they are pretty strong. You can see a tiny little bit of string there still. And that's because I don't go completely close. I leave just a little bit in case there's still a little bit of give. But, you know, I'm giving this a really tight tug and I feel very confident that this is going to hold. Okay? And that's how you make the magic knot. You would just continue to crochet as normal. If this comes out and you know it's to the front part of your work and you don't want it to be there, you can just take your finger and just kind of work that into the middle of your work. Or if it's an amigurumi, you can move it to the inside of the toy, and there you go. You have the magic knot all formed and ready to go. Happy crocheting, stay safe, be kind, and get hooking. And I hope that you can try this magic knot and that it will work for you.